What's up? As you may know, I have a little tiny problem with people mugging me. If you've seen my other videos, which you should go check out. Anyway, all those are not good enough. I need something stronger, something better, to where these guys, they don't even want to mess with me, you know? And these cardboard guns that shoot the wooden bullets, it's too cliche, you know? I need to step it up some. So I thought, hey, what about a flamethrower? I actually have made a video on a flamethrower before, but kind of got taken down, which I mean, I understand, but we'll have to do it in a way this time to where it doesn't. Last night, I drew out a couple designs I liked, and then I settled on one that I thought looked pretty cool, and so that's the one I'm gonna make. First thing I'm making is this part right here. Let's get started. Alright, that's all I can do for now, so I'm gonna do this part right here. So I'm gonna get that little can of my fuel and put like a thing around it so that I can attach it to there. Alright, we finished this part, and so now we have to do the barrel, I guess? Or whatever this thing's called right here. You may be wondering, if it's made of cardboard, won't it just burn? Yeah, it will. Which is why I have this. It's aluminum tape, so hopefully it'll be a little more resistant to the flames. Alright, now that we're done with that, we can put together the pieces of the barrel. Whoa, how'd that happen? That's so crazy. Now that I'm done with this, I can move on to making the mechanism for the release of the fuel. So I'm gonna have a string pretty much attached to there, which will go through these two holes, and back here there will be a hook, so I can attach it to another hook, which will connect to the trigger. Alright, I finished the trigger mechanism. So as you can see right here, the string is connected to the top of the cam, which will make it go off. And then as the string goes through here, it connects to a hook in here so that you can connect it to another string, which will be connected to the trigger, and that will make the spray go off. As you can see right now, whenever I pull this hook, the spray goes off. And so that will be able to trigger our flames. Right, next up we're gonna hot glue this onto here, and then we'll basically be done with the whole main body. Right, I finished all the pieces to the main body, and now I'm gonna add a few more little details, and then we'll start working on the trigger. Added some little things on the corners and this little door right here, so you can go and look inside and see the hooks. And you can also see the nutrition facts, which is cool. And then the attachment is gonna go on right here. I made this little rack, and as you can see, it's made to where things can slide on. And so I'm gonna use that to clip on the handle. Alright, I just finished this piece, so now it is able to slide right onto the back of this, and this will be attached to our trigger, and so we'll be able to connect it and disconnect it from here. Now we just need to make the trigger box and the trigger. I just finished this trigger box, which slides right on here. Now it needs a trigger, obviously, and then I'm gonna run a string from the trigger to this hook back here, so they'll be able to connect. We got our trigger right here connected to a string, and so that'll pull the hook So now all we need is a few more cardboard pieces and to attach the hook to the other hook, then we're done. Alright, I finished attaching the hook to the line, and then now the last thing, I need to attach a piece of wire that'll hold the starter, and then we'll be ready. I got the starter on, and now it's finally time to test it. Alright, I finally finished the flamethrower, and now it's time to test it out. So, let's see how it works. I'd say that works pretty good. Sure, it shoots flames. That's pretty cool. But how are we gonna know it actually does good if you're in a fight, you know? Alright, I got 3 tests for that. First, we're gonna use a can. Second, we're gonna get a piece of wood. And third, Mr. Bad Guys here is gonna be our little test dummy. Test number 1, we got our can right here. Let's see how it works. Alright, here's our results of test number 1. I feel like that's a win for the flamethrower. Test number 2, we got our piece of wood here. Let's see how it does. Looks pretty burnt to me, so I'd say that's another win for the flamethrower. Now it's time for the final test. Test number 3, we got Mr. Bad Guy here. He's gonna be our participant. As you can see, he was also a participant in that last video that got taken down. So, let's see how he does. Surprisingly, he actually did pretty well up against the flamethrower. He really only got a little bit charred, and I think he did really well compared to the other ones, but I'd say it still win for the flamethrower. Alright, that's it for this one. Hopefully it doesn't get taken down this time, and I guess I'll see you in the next one.